What is going on YouTube? So welcome to round 3 of the Nations Cup here in a very interesting combination of car choice and track. We're going to jump right into it, and once again I get quite a good start right off the line as I jump a couple of positions, and I look to go on the outside of this guy but run out of real estate and lunge up a hill, but luckily for me didn't spin myself out, which is very easy to do in this race, as I'm sure you're all well aware and you'll see later on in this race. But so as we're approaching this little bend here, American touches grass, and I unfortunately give him a little nudge there, and unfortunately for me, he pushes me wide straight into the wall, and I think he might have eliminated the two in front of me as well because they spun out directly in front of me. So not terrible, but not great either, because I'm only fell down to 9th, but as you can see I have some bumper damage and wheel damage to contend with, so I'm not able to take this corner flat out as I would have liked. But the group ahead, as you can see, is not too far ahead of me, and as I know this race, it's very easy to spin out and lose positions here. As we're approaching the last corner of the lap, two cars in front of me actually do take each other out and spin out, so gain 2 positions right back, and effectively I'm up 1 position since I qualified. So not terrible, not a great start to the race, but again not bad. Second lap here, again 6th place is just directly in front of me. I don't have any traffic to contend with, so it's just up to me at this point just to race as cleanly as possible and hopefully catch up, or someone will make a mistake up ahead. This fast right-hander and left-hander right after each other was the death of me. I could never get this corner right, but we're actually going to fast forward to the lap number 6. As you can see, I did manage to catch up to 6th place here, right on his ass as I brake quite late. He closes the inside on me here, so I'm not able to get past just yet, but definitely mounting pressure. I'm hoping that, with all this pressure, he'll make a mistake, which is again very easy to do. I actually get the inside on him here, and able to squeeze past him in the corner that I hate. I'm going to nickname the corner of death because it was the death of me. Again, a little foreshadowing there, but as we approach this long right-hander, I tend to take this corner quite wide to get a nice little runoff, which I think is the best line. So, fast forward to lap number 9, wasn't able to make up much room to the car ahead of me, but as you can see, 7th place, the American is still right on me here. And unfortunately for me, that corner of death is coming up, and it's going to be the death of me as a yellow flag is up ahead. I don't know if that distracted me or what have you, but as I come downhill here, back end kicks out ever so slightly. I try to correct it, it overcorrects, and I go straight into the wall, which, again, I've said it many times, it's very easy to spin out in this race, but drop down a couple of positions. Cart is damaged, a little front end damage. As I go around this right-hander, I think I tried to do a little too much. You can see the back end coming out ever so much again. Try to correct it, it overcorrects, go into the wall again. I actually don't think I lose positions here, but I think at this point in the race, I was just like, I was so demoralized. I was like, fuck it, I just don't care anymore. So not really paying attention to what I was doing from this point on, because I cut this corner a little bit too much, touch grass, and yep, there I go again. Spin out, and this time I fall all the way back to last place as I struggle to get back on the track here. And obviously I was never able to recover, and I finished very disappointing last place. But we're actually going to jump ahead to the start of my second stint here. Qualified worse, qualified in 11th, and I don't have the amazing start that I'm become known for here, but everyone's jockeying for position here. I unfortunately give this American roller ahead of me a little nudge, but I don't think it affected him that much. So everyone's jockeying for position. The American spins out there. I don't know if I had anything to do with it. I don't think so. I barely touched them, but everyone's jockeying for position. So at this point, the race has calmed down a little bit. I mean, those first corners of the race are always a bit treacherous, but keep an eye on Roller here, because him and I are going to have quite a heated exchange near the end of the race. I tend to take this corner a little bit wide. It gives me quite a nice slingshot effect, I feel like, and it gives me a lot of momentum out of that corner, and I tend to catch up to the cars ahead of me quite quickly. As you can see, I'm pulled right ahead of Roller here as he tries to cut forward and cut me off there, but he does give me the space, which I do appreciate. Brake quite late into this corner. I take this a little too wide, I think, and lose position, but again, because I have a little bit more momentum here, slingshot forward, and unfortunately for the Canadian, he touches grass, which is something you never want to do in this race because he never fully recovers and spins out behind us there. So definitely want to stay off the grass as much as possible here as we approach the corner of death. Get the inside here. No, he closes the door on me here on the inside, so not much going on there. Gonna tuck in behind, stay in that slipstream. I can't remember what the slipstream was set to here. I think it was custom, so not too sure if it was exactly strong, but I'm gonna try to take my wide line here, get a nice slingshot effect out of the corner, which does work out kind of nicely for me because I'm starting to close the gap here, but the American is not letting me have any of it as he cuts back, and I think I just give him a little nudge there. So going side by side with this other American here, I think the two of them touch, and number 6 can't fully recover. He hits the walls and spins out. I think 2 of them actually spun out behind us there. So Roller and I effectively move on forward and gain a couple of positions there, which unfortunate they spun out, but okay, it worked out for us. So I did manage to squeak by a couple other Americans, and now it's just a fight for the next couple of positions here. As I break quite late into that corner, you can break quite late there, and close a little bit of the gap as the 2 in front of me ghost, which happened quite a lot in this race. I'm not too sure why they were ghosting in that corner, but they were. And as you can see, I take that corner way too shallow. I should have been taking a lot wider of a line. Go up on the grass, get a little hilly. I almost lose it there, but unfortunately for me, I backed out and was able to retain him. But by letting off, I let Reki here slip by me and retake his 7th position. So even with my slingshot effect of an exit here, can't quite close the gap enough, but with that slipstream I am able to try to go up on the outside here. He tries to come back, but not fully able to close off the position. So I'm going to try to go up the inside here. I think I have a better run at it than he does here. Give him enough space that he can effectively corner out of it. And because I had the inside there, was able to retake my position. So nice little battle going on between the two. So as we're approaching the corner of death here, I look behind. Good number of people behind me, so I can easily fall back a couple of positions so I'm not too careful here. But Roller tries to go up to the outside. He doesn't have enough space. He does have me in the slipstream though, and you'll see this a lot develop in the course of the race. He takes a completely different line here as I go wide. He comes up the inside and overtakes me, but because I'm going to be in his slipstream, I normally have a much better run out of that corner. I think that wasn't a good example, but because I can stay in his slipstream, I can stay with him on this pretty much straight here. I mean, a couple of corners here are flat out, so it's effectively a straight. So I'm going to stay alongside him. I'm going to brake here. I go a little too wide here, and but because I went wide there, it effectively slingshots me forward, and I'm going to close this gap on Roller really quickly. The inside's wide open, brake late, take the inside, take my position back. So I think this was the start of a pretty heated battle between the two of us here for the mid positions here. So my goal is to keep him at bay, but also try to catch up with 5th place as much as possible. You'll see again here as we come on this long right hand corner, he's going to take the inside here, but I have a much better run at it than he does here because I took the wider line. I had the momentum there, but I think he cut across me and I backed offload, and I want to send him to the moon. But I'm gonna go side by side in him, get the inside here, roll on by, but this whole straightaway we're practically side by side, wheel to wheel here. But again, last corner of the track, got the inside here, got the position, and gonna squeeze on by, and actually he loses the position to the American behind him there too. So So Mr. Spinhouse wants to remind us that he's very much in this race and not to forget about him. So something to keep in mind. So I'm hoping as the sixth place there hands me a lifeline and spins out, which again, very easy to do. Yet another spin on this race. So got gifted fifth place here, and fourth place is not looking like it's something that's possible, but again, they could spin out. So my attention is primarily on the two battling behind me. In a perfect scenario, they would take each other out, but I don't think that happens in this race, as I try to take that inside corner, try to see what Roller was doing, but lost the back end there, had to back out of it, and because I lost all my momentum, I let off. These two are basically gonna roll on by here. So lesson learned there, not to take that inside corner. I haven't practiced it. I'm not too comfortable with it, as we have a yellow flag up ahead, and I am basically telling myself here I am never taking that line again, because it proved quite costly, as we have yet another spin out in front of us. So kicking myself here, because I know that if I had taken my line, stuck with my guns, I could have basically been in fourth place. So it's a couple of laps, 4 laps left to go. It's still anyone's game here for fourth, so not kicking myself too much, not trying to lose too much concentration. Fourth is very well within my grasp, but I could never get this corner right. You see, I took it way too wide there. I had to cut back way too late, and I now have the two Americans and the Mexican behind me to contend with, as Roller, as you see, I learned my lesson, taking my wide line as Roller strolls on by. But again, I have the momentum. I'm gonna speed on past him here, or at least be wheel to wheel with him. So pretty identical scenario as to what happened the lap before, or the one before that, can't remember, but same positions more or less. I'm gonna have the inside track on him here, so I'm gonna keep fifth momentarily, and again, my sights are set solely on fourth, which is very much a possibility here. I can smell it, but there is a long group behind me there, as the Mexican and Roller get into a heated battle. Actually, we completely forget about him here, and he slips on the inside of the two of us and takes 2 positions in that one corner. So bold little dive bomb there, if you want to call it a dive bomb, but proved quite effective as he snuck on by. He actually touches grass there on the inside, and I thought that was it. He's gonna spin out, but he was able to maintain it. So momentary lapse of judgment for myself and the American behind us, as we completely forgot about this guy, and he sailed on past us. And as we look at his line, he does like a little mixture. He goes on the inside and cuts back to the outside. I tried to come back into the track, but met with Roller, so backed off and lost another position. So disaster of a lap there. I was in 5th place, and within like half a lap I fell down 2 positions to 7th, and I'm pretty sure the American James behind me is right in contention to, yep, there he is. He's right in contention to drop me back even further. So this situation went from ideal to bad pretty quickly, but again, I'm gonna slingshot past Roller here right at the end of the yellow flag. Thankfully, the yellow flag ended right as I was gonna overtake him, otherwise that could have resulted in a hefty penalty. So a little later on in this lap here, as I come out of the back straight there, there's gonna be a yellow flag up ahead, and I'm hoping that it's one of my competitors that spins out, but nope, not quite. As I've actually never seen this before. This is the first time I experienced this on the yellow flag. But 15, last place, gets lapped. I've never lapped somebody in an online event, so that was a little interesting to see. Definitely don't see that every day, but not all that surprising it happened in this race, considering of all the spin-outs that could potentially happen. But yeah, interesting to see nonetheless. The last couple of laps are James very much in contention here. Roller not too far behind him, so a lot of pressure from the 2 Americans behind me. I'm trying to pressure the Mexican into making a mistake here, and hopefully 4th place just cracks under the pressure and spins out and hands me 4th place. But it only took 11 plus laps, but I finally get a good run in this corner, and you should have felt my emotions when I got that corner right. I'm like, finally! It only took me till lap 11 to get that corner somewhat decently, so hopefully from this point on forward I can be able to get a good run on that corner. But as you can see, James actually this time gets a good run, and joys of joy, the Mexican spins out ahead of us. effectively moving me into 6th place and James in 5th. So 5th is now back within sight. 4th might be a little bit too far away, but James goes on the outside there. I'm gonna go up the inside here and squeeze the door shut on him and retake 5th position. So I'm not too worried about 4th now. I know 4th is probably out of the question. It's just gonna be a heated battle between myself and the 2 Americans behind us here. So let's watch this lap in its entirety, if I can speak English. So the corner of death, my biggest enemy of this race, is coming up ahead. I take a somewhat decent run at it, so quite pleased with myself on that one. Look behind me to see James and Roller right behind me. So I'm approaching the long right-hander here. I'm going to take the wide line. I know I'm going to lose a position here, but it's okay because I know I'm going to be able to slingshot past whoever gets in front of me. So James in front of me here, side by side. It's going to come down to the last corner as another yellow flag is up ahead. Kind of hoping again it's 4th place, but it wasn't. But side by side, it's anybody's guess as to who's going to be able to take 5th place home and momentarily get the lead. I'm going to get the inside corner here, try to shut the door. He actually gets a really good run on the exit, and as we look here, a couple more feet and he would have been able to pass him, but we crossed the line just inches ahead of James and secure 5th place. Not the greatest placement, but one heck of a race, and I hope you guys enjoyed that race. Let me know in the comments if you did, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out, everyone.